Hey, it's Brian. Welcome to Calm and Connected. The question comes up very often, how long should I meditate? And there's lots of different theories on this. Many meditation teachers will tell you that the most important thing is consistency. It doesn't matter if you do it for a long period of time, just that you do it regularly. At least, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes a day, and that's enough. And there's some value to this theory. If you meditate for 2 hours a day and then you don't do it again for 3 weeks, there's really not a lot of value in that because it's not baking into your normal day-to-day life. But if you practice consistently, it begins to kind of show itself in your day-to-day interactions. But then the question is it enough just to do it for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes? So let me ask you a question. When it comes to exercise, is 5 minutes of exercise valuable? It's better than 0 minutes, but can you compare the results to exercising for a half hour or an hour a day? Probably not. A common benchmark that I like to set, at least for beginning meditators, is 20 minutes to see if that's possible, whether you do it on your own or you listen to a guided meditation, seeing if you can really commit to this length of time, 20 minutes in the beginning. Over the course of time, you might see that 20 minutes becomes a little easier, it's a little more doable, and you can extend this to a half hour. Over the course of time, a half hour might extend to 45 minutes. Who knows? That might go into an hour. The point here is that rather than becoming complacent in settling for small blocks of time, if you can really extend this out, you're really going to find different benefits. Like the mind might be able to concentrate at a deeper level, your mindfulness might be more consistent, and this extra length of time will pay dividends in the rest of your day. So when you're not meditating, when you're at work, when you're in conversation, when you're just walking down the street, you might find that these moments of awareness start spontaneously happening. This will also happen even if you meditate 5 minutes a day, for sure. But again, if you put the time in and you do a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, it's going to happen at more of an accelerated rate. As always, what we want to do is we want to respect our own boundaries. If that is not possible and we can only do 5 minutes, then 5 minutes is definitely significant, and 5 minutes can be very profound. So we want to be consistent on the one hand, but we also want to see if we can extend our limits on the other hand and see, just as like a hypothesis, what benefit is doing this adding to my life? And what you might find is that when you actually see results, that your motivation to practice for longer periods of time, it grows naturally without you having to force anything. So this is kind of a purposeful process on the one hand, and it's also an organic process on the other, where things will change without your willing them to change. And we want to kind of sit back and observe even our own progress. What's happening? What effect is sitting having on my daily life? So that's my take on how long you should meditate. Looking forward to hearing feedback from you to see whether or not you benefited from this, whether you agree or disagree, and looking forward to seeing you back for more resources. Take care.